There was a species of animal that lived in the Mediterranean region, what's today known as Cyprus, Malta, Crete, Sicily, Sardinia, and Cyclade Islands, in the Pleistocene epoch, about 2 million to 10,000 years ago. That was 6 feet long and a meter to 2.3 meter tall, weighing about 500 pounds. The animal I am talking about is a type of elephant, aka dwarf elephants, or Palaxodon falconeri. This elephant was almost 4 times smaller than its mainland cousin Pelaxodon antiquus. This phenomenon is not only limited to dwarf elephants of Mediterranean, but many other species of animals, including St. Kilda field mouse, which is twice the size of its mainland ancestor, and the Komodo dragons, which are world's largest lizard, also dwarf relatives of modern elephants, that is Tegodon sundari, and giant tortoises are also among these. This phenomenon, where an animal evolves in an isolated environment without predators, evolves either to become a giant or to become a dwarf compared to its mainland ancestors, is known as insular gigantism or insular dwarfism. Differences in body size of closely related island and mainland populations of mammals were first quantified by J.B. Foster in 1964, who showed rodents often evolve large size on islands, whereas carnivores and artiodactyls usually grow smaller. Leigh Van Walen in 1973 named this phenomenon as the island rule and quantified this rule by plotting the body size ratio of the island population relative to that of their mainland cousins. He showed a significant decrease in size ratio as body mass increased. Species smaller than approximately 700 grams tend to increase in size on islands, while larger species became smaller. A team of scientists at Radboud University, Doniana Biological Station, National Museum of Natural Sciences, and Imperial College of London performed a meta-analysis of over 1,000 vertebrate species. They show that island role effects are widespread in mammals, birds, and reptiles, but less evident in amphibians, which mostly tend towards gigantism. This study also indicates that the magnitude of insular dwarfism and gigantism is pronounced in smaller and more remotely islands for mammals and reptiles. This study also found an effect of climatic and seasonality on the island rule. Small mammals and bird species grew larger, and larger species stayed the same size to conserve body heat in colder and harsher insular environment. Furthermore, when seasons are present in availability of resources becomes less predictable for reptiles, leading the smaller reptile species to become larger. There is a species of humans in islands of Flores that is said to be example of insular dwarfism. Homo floresiensis, well known as Hobbit, who stood almost at a meter tall, is said to be natural outcome of its insularity. This species of human lived in the island of Flores between about 100,000 years ago to about 60,000 years ago and weighed approximately 27.5 kg. Insular dwarfism is well represented in proboscideans, particularly on Sicilo-Maltese Paleoarchipelago, an island group on which a species of complex Palaxodon elephants evolved during the middle to late Pleistocene epoch. This likely includes 3 species from Malta, 4 from Sicily, and 1 from Favagnana Islands, ranging from 1 meter tall Palaxodon falconeri to continental-sized 4 meter tall Palaxodon antiquus. During Pleistocene, the Sicilo-Maltese Paleoarchipelago underwent a significant change in paleogeography, which likely played a significant role in evolutionary history of insular elephants. In contrast to small distance to Sicily and Calabria, during the late Pleistocene, the distance between Sicily and Malta likely fluctuated more dramatically in response to glacial-eostatic sea level changes due to the presence of shallow submarine banks or the Hybline Malta Plateau extending southwards from Sicily. Thus, it was possible for elephants to reach Malta using Sicily as a stepping stone multiple times from the middle Pleistocene onwards, most likely during the glacial low stands when a relatively narrow strait separated the two islands. Palaxodon elephants further colonized Favagnana, where elephants survived until around the last glacial maximum. Changes in body mass are very common among insular vertebrates, with small mammalian taxa typically evolving giant forms and large taxa evolving dwarf forms. Though causes are widely debated, it is said to be the combination of several factors like predation, competition, resource limitation, selection for accelerated life history, optimal body size, and many more. The presence or absence of predators is hypothesized to have influenced the degree of reduction in body mass in insular endemics. Decrease in inter or intra-build competition is also an important effect on insular taxa, wherein direct competition from other animals pushes the animal to change its ecological niches. Islands being confined areas with limited resources, endemic insular taxa are often faced with resource shortages, favoring evolution of dwarfs that require less food or water in order to survive and reproduce. Based on observations that selection on life history traits may have effect on changing body size merely because of their correlation, rather than primarily acting on body size, the smaller body mass is typically associated with larger litters, rapid maturation, short gestation periods, early reproduction, and high population density. The body size and fitness of the particular taxon is a trade-off between energy acquisition and various requirements of growth and reproduction, including various thermoregulatory, metabolic, and ecological and other factors. Under different ecological conditions, different sizes may be favored. This is known as optimal body size theory. Optimal body mass differs for each taxa. This theory applied to varying degrees in different situations because of theoretical and observational limitations. When considering the role of all the above factors in influencing or permitting size changes in mammals, it is important to remember that the island rule emergent trend depending on specific context of each island. There is a need for caution when it comes to making generalization regarding size changes in insular vertebrates.